Welcome back to testingtools.co. Recently, I have received one comment which I wanted to show with you guys, and then we will continue to the video, right? So if you see here, there is someone called Anshama. 6 days back, I think I've been replying to the person. So they want to know how to compare two Excel files in Java. Okay. So I have asked what kind of requirement is this, so what do you want to compare exactly, all those things. So then they explain that, whatever they have mentioned here. So I am trying to write some code now which will help you to understand how you can compare data between two Excels. Okay. So for that I will be creating two Excel files with data, and then we will see how much comparison is happening by writing the code. I will show you that now. Okay, I am taking a lot of time and effort to create these valuable videos and informative videos. If you feel the same, I would request you to please hit the like button and then share with others so that others can also learn. And if you are new to the channel, maybe you can subscribe to the channel and then hit that bell icon so that you won't miss any future videos. So without any further ado, let's get into the coding. Okay. So I will be bringing up my Eclipse here. So here we already have the Excel code. I think if you have landed on this video directly, you have to watch the previous videos. Otherwise you will not be able to understand what is this library, what it has, and all those things, right? So let's create one more class called Excel comparison. Okay. So in this particular class, I will be reading two different Excel files and then we will compare the data. Okay. So let's create now I want two Excel files. So I will say Excel1 is equal to new Excel. Okay. Control Shift O is the shortcut to import the libraries which are not already added on top. Okay. Control Shift O. Now what is the parameter to be given? I have to give the path. Okay. So maybe I'll give string file1. And then I'll give string file2. So let's keep file1 here and also keep the other one. Okay. Excel2. So let us first create these Excels. I will show you what kind of data it will contain. Okay, and then we will continue. So this will be my Excel1. I will say name, roll number, and then marks, or you can say total marks. Okay. Okay. Now say I'll give Srinivas 1247 and then maybe 819. And then I will say vanilla. Okay, let's just stick to this maybe. Okay, and then I will save this now. Okay. And I will rename, this is, I have saved it as file1, and now I will create the second file. Maybe I'll change some data here. Like for example, I will change this to 920 and this I'll remain it same. Now I will do file save as. Okay, so I created two files. In that I think the first row total marks value is which is different, otherwise the second row is same, right? So I think the output should be giving like the second row is same in both the files, but the first row is different in the two files. Okay, so that is the final output we are looking at. Now let's give the path. Okay, now we got two files, we have created two Excel objects. Now we will see how many rows. See, first of all, in any comparison I would say whether the number of rows are same across two files or not. That is the first condition, would be good to start with. Okay, now I will say int file1 row count is equal to excel1 dot. Okay, I think before this we should get the sheets, I guess. Let me see how the code has been written. Excel, it only gets the workbook. Okay, and then we have to say set sheet. Okay, so we have to say set sheet. So I will say it's a first sheet only, excel1 dot set sheet of 0. Similarly, I will do excel2 dot set sheet of 0. Now, if you see what happens in set sheet, we're also getting the row count. So I hope we have the get row count. Yeah, we have the get row count. So int file1 row count is equal to excel1 dot get row count. Int file2 row count is equal to excel2 dot get row count. Okay, this is the first thing that you want to compare. Okay, so if file1 rc is equal to file2 rc, then we will say system dot out dot println row counts for the two files is same. Else you will say system dot, you will say that basically they are not equal. Error dot print row counts are different. File 1, file 2. So we will give the row counts inside this so that we know what each file count is. Row count. File 1 RC. Similarly, I can do for second one. But here you will give file 2. Okay. So the first comparison is completed. That is, the row number of rows present in file 1 is equal or not with file 2. Okay. So now that we compared the row counts, we will now go into the rows data. So there are different kinds of comparisons here. I am going with a simple way of comparing. That is, first row in file 1, I will be matching with first row in file 2. Okay. And then see if everything is fine or not. If not, then I will tell that whether these two rows are equal or not equal. Okay. The other way is basically taking first row from file 1 and compare with all the rows in the file 2. That's a different logic we have to write. Maybe at a later point of time I'll do it. But right now, what I'm doing is each row to row map in each file, right? And then we will print which rows are matching exactly and which rows are not matching. Okay, that's the goal. Now let's continue. So we are assuming that if the row counts are equal, then only we will do this kind of comparison. Okay, now I will write if, either you can write the code here in this part, or you can write the same comparison again and then write. Okay. Now for int I equal to 0, I less than file 1 RC and I plus plus. Okay. I will get the columns also. Let's see how we wrote about columns. Do we have call count and all those things? there is no get call count, but I think we know what are the columns, right? The columns are, okay, the column names are name, roll number and total marks. So let's copy them. Okay. Now what we can do here is, we have to first iterate through each row, right? So we have to say excel dot, sorry, it is excel1 dot get cell data of, so your I is your row number, because we are iterating the loop for the number of rows, right? So each I value which is incrementing becomes the each row number. And we have a method called get cell data where you are asking about what is the row number and what is the column name. So we will get the values from both the Excel files and then we compare. Okay. So for example, here I am saying I, that is my first row. So this is basically what do you say? Excel1 field value. And then the column name, I would say name. Similarly, I will do Excel2. Let's not make it as field value, make it as name value. Excel2 name value is equal to Excel2 dot get cell data of I, again same, and then name. I think I have hard coded here, it can be name. Similarly, we will write for other columns also. Okay. So here I am not going to a lot of optimization of code. Ideally, I am making assumptions here saying that these are the number of columns available. These are the column names. But we can still write dynamic code saying like get the column names dynamically and then use them like another loop with all the columns and then compare. You can do that also. But I am giving you a simple way of doing right now. String excel1 roll value. Same things, but the column name will change, that is roll number. Let's copy this also. Change this to 2 and then this is roll number. Okay, and get the third one also. Here we will say total. And then we have total marks. Now we have to compare. This is like one row's data in Excel1 and Excel2. Now we have to compare from Excel1 to Excel2, the three conditions for each column, right? So if I am saying if Excel1 dot equals Excel2's name value, okay, and then I will write so three conditions, so I'll have three things. Here is roll number value. So here what I have done, I have added three conditions. One is for the name value, one is for roll number. I am comparing between Excel1 and Excel2 of the same row, because our I is basically iterating to the row count, right? Now if they are equal, all the three conditions are equal, that's why I am using AND operator. That means all three must be equal. Then only that particular row is matching in both the files. So I will say system.out.println rows, or say row 1 is matching in both Excels. or else I'll say they are not matching. Is not matching. Here you can basically, what you can say is you can still further print the values, like what is the name value, what is the roll number value, what is the total value. Let's first do this and then maybe we'll add those more details. Okay. So if you see here, okay, and then we will finally close the files. Excel1.close, Excel2.close. So now let us execute and see if it is giving the right output or not. Okay, it says row counts for the two files is same, and row 1 is matching in both the files and row 2 is also matching in both the files. So this is something wrong because we have two different files with different values. So we have to debug now. Okay, this is our file 1. Let us make it small. So if you see here, ideally the first row should not match, right? The second row is matching. Let's see what is the row count first, okay? And then we will see how many times the loop is. So I think it looks like it only executed 2 times, but which 2 times is important, right? Like for example, if the index is wrong, it might be just looking for these 2 rows instead of these 2 rows. Let's just see by changing this, okay? Maybe here instead of 0, I'll put 1 and then I'll say equal to, okay? But even then the row 2 should be not matching, right? Okay, I think, let me see what is written here. Get cell data is getting get cell data and then sheet dot get row dot. So we have the row number also, so it should be correct. Okay. It is still sim value. So let's print the database and then see what is happening. Okay. So this is what happens. You think of a logic and you write the code, but the output doesn't match. So you have to debug, right? So instead of, I think, printing, maybe I'll do the debug here. I will put a breakpoint and then I'll say there is this debug as Java application. Okay, so it says row counts for 2 files is same. Okay, that's fine. Now let's see what is the row count also. File 1 RC, it is row count 2. So I think, okay, it is not considering the first row in the Excel file, so it is taking only the 2 rows of the data. That is fine. Now what is there in Excel name 1 value? It is Srinivas. Now let's execute one more line and then see what is there here. Here also it is Srinivas. So in file 1 also, file 2 also, the name is same. That is okay. Now let us see the roll number. The roll number here is, okay, it is not written in the value. Okay, that is the problem. I know why it is not written in the value. I'll just tell you now in some time. Let's stop the execution. In the Excel code, we have written conditions like if the cell type is something, right? Here I have checked it as string, but we got, or we have put the integer values, right? So we have to write the condition for that also. Else if cell dot get cell type equal to cell type dot, we have numeric, okay. Then we are saying value is equal to cell dot get numeric cell value. But the problem here is the value that you're returning is string. So we will convert this into string by just adding like this. Okay. Now let us execute again and see. We can again debug and check. Okay. I hope you understood this. I'm just going back. We have only written string here earlier. So only string was coming. If no condition was matching, it was just returning value as empty because initial value of value is empty. Okay, so now let's go and then again debug this. So again, we got Srinivas, and this is also Srinivas. Now let us execute the next one. So Excel roll number. See, now we got 1247.0. Okay, earlier it came as empty, but now it is getting the value. And then we are doing this. This is also same. Okay, that is good. Now we will get the total marks. So total marks. This one is 819, and this one is 920. So these are different. So which means this if condition will fail and it will go to the else part. So let's execute and see. So it went into the else part. So it is saying row 2 is not matching in both the Excels. So here I have added I plus 1. So maybe you can remove this later. Okay. Okay, I just saved it. So I'm terminating because even the code looks fine now, I guess. So let's execute completely without debugging and then see. So run as Java application. So if you see here, it says row 1 is not matching in both the Excels and row 2 is matching in both the Excels. So this is how you can compare values between two different Excel files. Okay, I hope you got some understanding of how to do this. I will also add some more details here. System dot error dot println. I'm just trying to enter some values also. Show the values so that when the rows are not matching, what is the data basically, right? Excel 1 row values. I would say, what is the name? Here I'll have roll number. Okay, don't worry about the spellings and all. I think I've been giving that like that. It is ROLL supposed to be, but I wrote roll. Okay, and we have total marks, right? So I will say Excel 1 name value, Excel roll name number value plus Excel 1 total marks, total value, right? Now we have done this for Excel 1, we will also do for Excel 2. So Excel 2 row values. So this is 2, this is 2, and this is 2. I'll just add one empty line so that we understand these are of different files. Okay. So now I will execute again and then we will see. Okay. It says row 1 is not matching in both Excels and it is printing Excel 1 row values, name, roll number, total marks, and then also Excel 2 row values, Srinivas and all these things, right? So you can compare. I don't know why this is printed in between. It is ideally not supposed to be. So this looks like some issue in Java, I guess. Okay. Okay, I think we were able to compare these things and then we were able to print the differences. So this is how you can compare two Excel files. Okay, I hope this is useful. It took quite a long time to write this and explain this clearly so that everybody can understand. I would request all of you to hit that like button and share your views. What else you want to what else you want to have, want to learn. Maybe I can, if I am aware, I'll create it, or else if I don't know, I might learn and try to share that with you guys. Okay, so let's hope to hear more number of questions or doubts that you have, and I would be happy to share that knowledge with you. Okay, thank you so much.